Gotabaya Rajapaksa is gone and so are the crowds as calm returns to Sri Lanka's presidential palace. Police in Malaysia arrest 2 people involved in a road rage incident at the Tuas Second Link. Ready for the match tonight? Football fans are in for a treat when Liverpool face Crystal Palace. Good evening, you're watching The Big Story with me, Haryanto Diman. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you will not miss an episode. We begin with fast-moving developments in Sri Lanka today. Ranil Wickremesinghe, the Prime Minister, was sworn in as the country's interim president after the Speaker of Parliament accepted a resignation letter from President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Mr Wickremesinghe said he would follow constitutional process and establish law and order in the country. And he asked lawmakers to work towards a consensus to establish an all-party government. On July 20th, Sri Lanka's parliament will elect a new president. Meanwhile, the president's official residence, which was seized by protesters last Saturday, has been handed back to security forces. Mr Rajapaksa fled Sri Lanka on Wednesday, making his way first to the Maldives and then to Singapore last night. His departure came after months of protests over the economic crisis in the country. Joining me now is Dr. Chulanee Attanayake from the Institute of South Asian Studies at NUS. So what happens now, Doctor, that Gotabaya Rajapaksa has stepped down as president and there is an acting president of Ranil Wickremesinghe? How soon will we see a transition of power?
What will happen next is that Parliament will be convened. There will be proposals on possible candidates by political parties. And if there's more than one name proposed, then there will be a secret ballot. So as of now, what we hear from Sri Lanka is that the process will end by July 20th and there will be a new president in Sri Lanka. And this president has the power to remain in seat for the remaining period of this president's term. Afterwards, there has to be an election.
So, on that, Doctor, is there anybody who's poised to replace Mr. Rajapaksa? Does acting President Wickremesinghe stand a chance?
There are a couple of names circulating at the moment, actually, including and a couple of aspirants, including Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. But I think after multiple protests and demands, he mentioned that he's ready to step down, paving way for someone else to take over. So this we will see whether it's true or not once names are being presented to the Parliament. So from what I have seen in public media and also social media and several polls, is that there's opposition leader Sajid Premadasa, and in the polls they have even proposed General Sarath Fonseca's name, and there are rumors about Dala Salahat Perumal as a candidate, perhaps for the president or for the next prime minister, we do not know. However, there is strong urge from majority in the country that they will, the parliament will agree on a common candidate and that there will be no competition to take over power within the political parties. And I also think there is strong public support for JVP leader Anurukumara Dissanayake. So at this point, it's very difficult to say, and it's only not even couple of hours is the Prime Minister sworn in as the acting president for the remaining period until next week. So it's very difficult to say at this point.
Sri Lankans out celebrating on the streets when they found out about Rajapaksa's resignation. Doctor, help us understand, if change is what the people want, what sort of leader or leadership do they hope to see?
For the future of the country, what people are expecting is a government and leadership which is not corrupt, where there's no nepotism, and also who takes responsibility, swift action during crisis, and especially also who has the ability to gain public trust as well as greater cooperation with the international community. Someone would say that it's a lot to ask all at once after so much crisis, but Sri Lankans have gone through a lot over the past few years. So definitely what they are expecting right now is quick change. They are also expecting constitutional change, which will establish more democratic space for the country. So there are a lot of hope, lot of dreams, lot of expectations. Hopefully, people will be also patient to see that these changes are making progress at a considerable pace.
Dr. Attanayake, thank you for the perspectives. Dr. Chulanee Attanayake from the Institute of South Asian Studies at NUS. China's economy contracted sharply in the second quarter of this year as COVID-19 lockdowns hit businesses and consumers. GDP fell by 2.6% from the previous 3 months, worse than expected. But with many restrictions already lifting and activity picking up in recent weeks, economists expect growth to show an improvement in the next GDP report. China has set an official growth target of around 5.5%. Singapore's National Stadium will likely turn into a sea of red tonight when Liverpool take on Crystal Palace. At an opening training session on Thursday, the team had a chance to get used to the high humidity levels here. Well, not exactly something that the players are used to, but manager Jurgen Klopp says they love coming out here and meeting with the local fans. He also knows that many of them have a special place in their heart for him.
I realized when I step out of the hotel that the noise changed slightly, and yeah, it's nice, to be honest. It's in this business. Meanwhile, it's like that because of you are the manager of a really good football team, and my face is more often on the camera than probably other faces, and I don't run while the camera is at me, so people can really recognize me. And yeah, that's it. It's nice, but it was never my aim that this would happen.
In other news, 2 people involved in a road rage incident at the Tuas Second Link last weekend have been arrested by the Malaysian police. The police say a woman and a Singaporean man were arrested at the immigration checkpoint at the Malaysian side of the Second Link on Thursday night. The duo were captured on video that went viral, where the woman was seen pulling a number plate off a black car and throwing it onto the car's windscreen. Those are our top stories today. Don't forget to subscribe to us by clicking the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Have a good weekend and see you next week.